the requirements of the immigrant population living there. In the winning speech of Zoran Mamdani, he said that this time around, the immigrants had built the city of New York, the immigrants run the city of New York, and finally it is led by an immigrant itself. And some of the things that Zoran Mamdani had promised before winning this election was that he would make sure of affordable housing for all citizens in New York, and of course a free bus service. And one can also mention how he had said that child care has to be given the utmost importance. But before I say anything more, I want to understand how Mr. Aga Mohammad Saleh feels, as he has been living in New York for many decades. Mr. Aga Mohammad Saleh.
Yes, greetings from New York, and it's pleasant to be here on this channel from Bangladesh. What I believe, that being an immigrant who came to this country to envision the founding fathers' vision for this nation, and as we call, it's a nation of diversity, and especially when we live in New York, we embrace the transnational cultures and faiths, and we live in coexistence. And this experience gives you a very rich experience and gives you an art of living and coexisting among the various nations of the world. And this city also have the capital global headquarter of the United Nations, and this makes it significant. And the city also has the financial capital of the world. This makes city significant. But despite all these things, what I truly believe, that having said that Mamdani became the first immigrant South Asian with a diverse heritage. Mother is a Hindu, father is a secular, and he claims himself a Muslim. And it is a unique background that he carries. And before the beginning of his career, he was a rapper, he was an actor. So he has a tremendous ability as a young. And this election runs all the way. When I was looking at this dynamics, it's all Gen Z, Generation Z. And this Generation Z is taking over us. And the entire landscape of the Eastern Hemisphere of the United Nations, Virginia, New Jersey, and New York has been tilted among the Democrats, and President Trump would be facing an immense difficult time in coming midterm election. And the promises which he made, the President Trump, and he became president, became president on a very popular rhetoric. And that popular rhetoric was he will obliterate the deep state. When he opened his bid in the early March, April of the 2023, I realized that this will sweep and change the mind of the landscape of the United States. And I remember that on July 31st, I was the one who predicted, being a Democrat, the President Trump is winning landslide victory. And I tweeted that despite all odds, and it happens. Despite the speculation, despite the polls and legacy media, he fought his battle well based upon the America First narrative. And that America First narrative, which he promised to his people in his first year, during the first year, he is losing this battle at home. New York is his home ground. This is the city where he born and raised, and he made his empire. But in this city, since he became the president, first Bill de Blasio, the mayor Bill de Blasio, pushed him in such a way that he refused him to give him the security, and he have to move to his Mar-a-Lago, and he was basically shuttling between Mar-a-Lago and Washington, D.C. in his first term, which ended in 2020 in a very chaotic way.
Yes.
And when he became president in 2024, this term is impacting internationally, and his policies are basically disappointing people. As I remember that when he was running election, his campaign during the November 24, the streets of the city were overwhelming. Even Democrats, even Muslims were supporting him because he wanted to bring peace. But since then, his peace promises in the world are still in shadows, and especially the Raza factor is in shadows. And so people are unhappy, and especially the Muslim population, which is the overwhelmingly 20% of the New York City. They contribute almost $17 billion, almost 20% of the economy of the New York City. And they are basically being marginalized. And his leadership, which Mamdani claims, he took the ride on it and he defeated all odds. And it's a historic turnover in the election, which I never saw since 1969.
We know that the Trump administration is to provide only half of the usual food stamp benefits in November. We know that the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, in other words, SNAP benefits, this time around, including the House, has said that only half of it will be provided in November. I want to understand how you feel about it, as there is a kind of rift between the people and the administration. Mr. Aga Mohammed Saleh.
This will impact almost 6 to 7 million people across the nation. And when I look at the previous administrations, especially the Biden administration's policies, that caused an immense pressure on the economy, and the crises which was developed because of these border crossers, and they're settling in the cities like New York, that was additional pressure on the economy. And today I would say that if these things are not fixed timely, that will create, I believe, a catastrophe. And maybe soon you will be hearing life tolls. People may commit suicide, people may die because winter is approaching. And this harsh winter, which is predicted, I believe that it will be causing an immense pressure on the landscape of the United States.